Hi guys, Elena and Trevor Long here. How are you going?
Hello, this is our first Facebook Live.
I was watching this humoristic video today about what women want from their guys, and of course they want the guy to be playing the guitar. So guess what Trevor was doing for me just the last 5 minutes. Sorry you missed it, guys. It was just a personal concert. But what we wanted to talk to you about are some tips of things that quite often we oversee in, women asking from the guy to do it for them, and the guy completely forgetting to acknowledge it and to do it for the girls.
Tell you what, why don't we introduce ourselves again? And we start from the beginning. So I'm Trevor Long.
And I'm Elena.
And together we are
Long Relationships.
We're relationship coaches from Sydney, Australia, and we're the authors of the upcoming book called Long Relationships, Crack the Relationship Code. All right, and today we are talking about what women want. So
That's right.
It's a big subject, it's a huge topic, and it will change several times during the day for every woman. So we're just going to pick up 3 general tips each, and we're going to talk about those. Is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's go. Okay, so, guys, the first thing that your woman wants is for her to look in the camera. The first thing that your woman wants is for you to listen to her and to understand her.
That's right. It
Okay.
might be a challenge.
It's a huge challenge for blokes, okay? Men are logical people, whereas women are emotional people. So they talk from their emotions, whereas men talk from their logic. And this is why sometimes we have a disconnect. So it's a lot of faking it till you make it. I've been studying human behavior for a very long time, and still sometimes when I'm caught up in the moment, it is hard for me to understand what my woman wants. Or just to basically to understand her, okay? But I pretend. I fake it till I make it, and as long as she feels like she's understood, she's happy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you say pretend, it does feel like you are not being honest, but actually you're doing it so that you can serve my needs, and so that I feel that you're there for me, even though you're not quite sure what you should be doing, but you are there for me, and that's a great start. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of guys say, no, I can't be fake, I can't pretend that's not me, just pretending that I understand my woman. Well, be patient, stay there, give her the space, and that's a good start. I never knew that Trevor was pretending, so there you go.
Hey, not all the time, but sometimes. And so an example of that would be when Elena comes from work and I will ask her how her day's gone, and she will talk about what a bitch her boss has been, or her colleagues have been giving her trouble, or
No, not really.
or whatever. And instead of me trying to offer solutions, which is what I would naturally want to do as a logical man, did you try this? Did you do this? No, don't do that. You just say, oh my God, what a bitch. Does she not know how hard you work? Something like that. Ladies talk to you to connect. They're not asking for you to solve their problems for them, and they don't like it when you do. But, Elena, tell me, when you do want my input to help you solve a problem, how would I know that? How would I know when to offer solutions?
I will probably say, I don't know what to do, honey. What would you do? I will ask the question clearly. I'll just ask for your support. Make it clear that I want your input. Otherwise, if I'm not asking, don't give me your advice.
That's a good tip there. If she's not asking for your advice, for your solutions, then don't give them to her. Trust me, if she wants your advice, she's going to ask you. She might hint to start with, and blokes are not good at taking hints, but when she gets angry enough, she will tell you.
I learned as well that, hints don't work. So that's why if I have a question, I make it clear that that's the question and that's the output I want. And funnily enough, with guys, it's kind of the opposite. My first advice for you is don't do something advice. It's don't Stonewall. If you have a problem, and Trevor's getting better at it. If you have a problem, don't Stonewall, don't ignore your wife's or your partner's, your girlfriend's attempt to connect with you. We women like to resolve things by talking about them. I want to know your reasons to be upset. I want to know whether I upset you with something. Quite often it could be a problem you have with, at the coffee shop, or your motorbike wouldn't start. But if you're not ready to talk to me, I will not understand, and this is where miscommunication comes up, and women start talking and asking more questions, and guys start stonewalling even more, thinking that it's a storm that will go away, but actually no. If we don't get a response, we try other ways to trigger and push you.
They will get louder and louder.
Yeah, it will not go away, guys, until you tell me what's wrong and how did I make it wrong, or what can I do to make you feel better, even if you just tell me the problem and I sit there with you and connect and I agree with what you find the problem to be.
Yeah.
You have to tell me.
Yeah. And the reason that men stonewall is because they don't want to get angry. Now, usually they're probably more pissed off at themselves than anybody else for being an idiot, for being a dickhead or whatever. All right. And so we don't want to get angry, so we shut down. So we shut down so we don't blurt out and hurt people and lash out, either verbally or physically. We'll shut down.
Which is a very reasonable thing to do. You're protecting everyone around you and yourself.
Yeah.
However, in our society, this doesn't work. I need to know. So I'll be pushing and pushing and pushing.
And so even if you have been a bit of an idiot yourself, or you've done something wrong, tell her, I've done this and I feel this way. Be a little bit vulnerable, right? And if she's a good woman, she's not going to attack you and make you feel worse.
And if she does attack you, probably you're not in the right relationship anyway, so yeah.
But we have solutions for that.
That's right.
All right, have we gone off topic there with point number 1? Probably. What was your point number 1?
That was it. No, don't stonewall.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't stonewall. Okay.
Talk to her.
All right. Let's move on to point number 2, because we're probably going a bit over our 3 minutes here, but that's okay. Point number 2.
For you.
What does women want? Okay. Women want us to be their steady rock.
That's right, man.
Okay. They are going through emotional storms all the time, and they need to know that we are here as their emotional rock for them to hang on to during that emotional storm. And that when things go bad, we're going to be steady. If you lose your job, then you're going to get out of bed the next day and start looking for a new one. If the house burns down, you're going to find somewhere else to live straight away. That you're not going to crumble. And the reason that they test us all the time by arguing with us and needling us, pushing us all the time, is that they're constantly testing us to make sure that we are their rock.
Yeah, that you're there to protect me, to look after me and the children, that you were there to solve the problems, and I know that I can run to you.
Yeah. So don't get defensive when she's needling you, don't get aggressive, don't stonewall, don't sulk. Just be the man. Let her know that you're the man, that you're going to protect her, protect the family, and that you're never, ever going to leave her or the relationship. That's what she needs to know.
That you're there for me.
Yeah. So in brief, that's point number 2 from me.
Well, my point number 2 is something that I always thought comes for granted, like, I don't even need to say that that's what I expect in a man, but apparently it needs to be said out loud. I want my man to make me laugh. And luckily I found a natural. But, the other day I was telling Trevor, honey, the next big present I want is a small piano that I can fit, in the corner of the room. And Trevor's answer was...
How small?
Like, he didn't make a commitment to the piano, but he made me laugh. And that's actually probably all I needed at this stage. And I still, if I feel down during the day, I remember his answer and gosh, do I have a giggle. And it's every day, like trying, you do it. Well, the guy does it for the entertainment of his partner, but also
I do it for my own amusement too.
Yeah, and it's so much fun, and it makes the connection light-hearted, and it makes the connection even stronger, because when we can laugh at ourselves and with each other, not at each other, we actually enter a different vibrancy, a different connection, and it makes the things between the two of us so much easier. In terms of communication and in terms of knowing who you are and having our own little jokes to laugh at, that makes us a special little union, special little community.
Yeah, and even if we are having a little bit of a disagreement about something, if we can make a joke in the middle of that, it just makes it so much more fun, so much better, so much easier.
And quite often we forget what we were
discussing.
Yeah, disagreeing about. So just, life is fun. It has to be fun. If we don't rely on each other for it to be fun, actually things can get very hard and unbearable. So we have each other to lighten things up and to support each other.
All right. And the last point for me would be, point number 3, that would be variety. Ooh. Okay, and this one's a little bit of a challenge for me sometimes, because the way our human brain works is that when we learn something new, like driving a car, we're thinking about it all the time in the beginning, and then very, very quickly it becomes a habit, a pattern, a routine, or a program that we run automatically. It frees up our brain power to do other creative things. And unfortunately, the same thing happens in a relationship. We spend a lot of time in the beginning of the relationship finding out about each other and making each other happy. And then once we find the few things that work, we make them into a habit, and then they go onto autopilot.
Correct.
In a part of the brain called the basal ganglia. And then we run that program. And as men, being logical, we think, okay, that works, I'll just keep doing that. And we sometimes forget that it can get a bit boring if you're doing the same things all of the time. So you have to find other ways, different ways of giving your wife some variety, giving your relationship some variety. Now, if you always go out to the same restaurant, go to a different restaurant. Have a picnic instead.
Because routines become boring.
Yeah, routines are boring.
We start taking each other for granted, and there is nothing exciting. And we as human beings do need variety and do need excitement in a resourceful way.
Yeah.
Where we provide support and growth to each other.
So if you always go on holiday at the same place, plan a holiday to a different place. Plan a surprise night in where you're cooking the meal.
I love surprise night-ins.
You choose the movie. Something. Just do something different. There's so many date ideas out there. Go for a walk around the neighbourhood. Hey, honey, what should we do this morning? Hey, let's go for a walk around the neighbourhood. Whatever. Anything. Just something different. Break it up. Keep it interesting. When she knows that you're solid, that you're a rock for her in the relationship, and you're a source of excitement...
Even if
she's never going to want to leave.
Even if you just get a bunch of flowers just because, for no reason whatsoever.
Not just on anniversaries and birthdays.
Yes, otherwise everything turns into a routine, and your relationship turns into cooperative, co-living together.
Yeah. So you become roommates instead of intimate partners.
Because there is so much more to life, and that's why we have hobbies. That's my third point for today. That's why we have hobbies, to make our life interesting. And what a woman wants is for her husband, partner, boyfriend, lover to provide support. Trevor might not always understand my hobbies, because some of them are out of the ordinary. And here's something I prepared to show you earlier. This is my kefir... what do you call them, granules. So I produce something like yogurt with them, and they're very good for you and for your health. And Trevor, he doesn't have to do anything, just as long as he doesn't make the faces. And
All I have to do
been-
is avoid them.
Yeah, he's been very supportive. And actually, what did you have this morning for breakfast? You had 2 spoonfuls of kefir with me because it's good for your gut health. And it's fine as long as he doesn't say, I want this out of the house. I don't want to see these weird cauliflower looking things. That's good enough for me. And another thing we prepared for you earlier, that's strawberry jam, guys. Strawberry jam that I wanted to make because it's strawberry season, right? And Trevor said, well, I'll help you then. So he went and got the strawberries and we boiled the thing together. We took turns stirring the pot.
We chopped them, we boiled them, we put them in jars. And let me tell you, folks, it didn't work, but we had a great time.
That was actually one of our best nights in the date nights together.
Yeah. So now we have sugary strawberries. We
they're
don't
just
have
yummy.
jam.
They're yummy. I can tell you that was one of the best nights.
And I can tell you that in the past, a long, long time ago in another life, I would have got angry. I would have got pissed off that we'd wasted all that time and money making jam that didn't work. But now, it's just fun.
No, we had fun and we used it for so many different things during the day. Like I added to my yogurt, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. We always have fun together.
Yep. All right, was that your third point?
Yes, correct.
Good, we're done. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please post them below. If you'd like to chat with us, send us a PM and we'll get in touch. So we're Trevor and Elaine Long from Long Relationships.
And
Sydney, Australia, and we're signing off, wishing you a wonderful day, evening, week ahead.
Have fun, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.